Not every SAT question meant to torture you. SAT has tough questions, yes, but it also has kind ones. And when you meet one, smile because that is a lottery question. If you are seeing my videos from a long time, you must be knowing what a lottery question means to me. And from now onwards, whenever you will see a lottery question, it will have this symbol. And when it has this symbol, just smile because it is just 1 or 2 second questions there. Let's see. It's bundle 8, module 2, question number 1. Okay, so a graph is given to us. And what is the y-intercept of the line graphed? Wow. Now you understand why it's a lottery question. But let me explain the concept just to make sure. Y-intercept is the point where the line intersects the y-axis. So this is that point. And at that point, x is always 0, right? So 0 and whatever is this point, 5, that is the y-intercept. So these are the coordinates of y-intercept. 5 is the y-intercept and 0, 5 are the coordinates of the y-intercept. So what the question is? Okay, 0, 5, C is the right option. Now you decide, it's a lottery question or not, right? Okay, let's move to next one, second one. Because some data is given, maybe it's a question of probability or statistics. Let's see. This is the first impression we are going to see. So it's type of stores. There are 3 types of stores: warehouse store, departmental store, supermarket. Okay. Average number of employees 365 in warehouse, 213 in departmental store, and 130 in supermarket. Okay. For a certain region, the table shows the average number of store employees in 2016 by the type of store. Based on the table, how much greater was the average number of store employees in warehouse stores than in supermarkets? Okay, so this question is neither of statistics nor of probability. This is simple question. We have to find how much one number is greater than the other, right? Very basic. So if we have to find the difference, that means we have to subtract. Let's see what we have to subtract. How much greater was the average number of store employees in warehouse store than in supermarkets? We can also say this a lottery question when you understand the words properly. Okay, so in warehouse, number of employees is 365, and in supermarket, this average number is 130. So because how much greater is asked, that means we need to find the difference, which is 235. Let's see. Okay, C is the right option, right? This was again a lottery question. Question 3, bundle 8, module 2. In this figure, line M is parallel to line N and line T intersect both lines. Okay, before solving this question third, let's recall all the properties of parallel lines. M is parallel to N and T is the transversal here. So first property is about corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are equal. Now what are corresponding angles? They are on the same side of the transversal, and if one angle is above line M, another angle will be above line N. So here pair is angle 1 is equal to angle 5, right? 1 is above M and 5 is above N, and they both are on the right hand side. Similarly, you can guess another pair. Angle 4 is equal to angle 6. Both are below, M and N, and T is the transversal on the right hand side. Similarly, we can say for the left hand side, angle 2 is equal to angle 8 and angle 3 is equal to angle 7. So corresponding angles are equal. Alternate angles are also equal. Now what are alternate angles? They are on the opposite side of the transversal. If inside, both are inside. If outside, both are outside. Let's see what does I mean by this. So angle 4 is equal to angle 8. So 4 is on the right hand side and 8 is on the left hand side, and they both are inside the parallel lines. Similarly, angle 3 is equal to angle 5, right? So because we are talking about the angles which are inside, so these are interior alternate angles which are equal. And similarly, there are exterior alternate angles. Angle 1 on the right hand side, angle 7 on the left hand side, angle 2 on the right hand side, and angle 2 on the left hand side, angle 6 on the right hand side. These are alternate angles. And the third property is co-interiors. Co-interiors are supplementary. What are co-interiors? Co means on the same side, interior means inside. So angle 4 and angle 5. This is first co-interior pair and these are supplementary. Second is angle 3 plus angle 8, which is again forming a co-interior pair. Now in all the three properties, you must have noticed that one angle involves line M and another angle involves line N, right? One from M, another for N. So whenever one involves first one of the parallel lines and second involves another of the parallel line, these three properties, are true. But if you notice right here, we can also see, like, if we just ignore this line L and see only T and M, they will show the properties of intersecting lines. Similarly, if we ignore M and see line N and T, they are showing a pair of intersecting lines. So even though our question is about like parallel lines, we can use these properties also. Here I have shown only like Tm and Tn, right? So if we see T and M, angle 1 is equal to angle 3 and angle 2 is equal to angle 4, right? About T and M. So these are vertically opposite angles which are equal. And similarly in this another pair, angle 6 is equal to angle 8 and angle 7 is equal to angle 5. This is again vertically opposite angles for the second pair. Also, you can see linear pair here. Now let's see linear pair. If I consider this line, right, this and this are forming linear pair and 2 and 3 are forming linear pair. So let's write this pair. It is angle 1 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degree and angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degree. Similarly, if you take 3t as a line, then angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180 degree and angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degree. So from two intersecting lines, we can get four supplementary angles. Similarly, if you see the other pair, just guess 6 plus 5 is equal to 180 degree and angle 7 plus angle 8 is equal to 180 degree when line is M. And when line is T, angle 6 plus 7 is equal to 180 degree and angle 5 plus angle 8 is equal to 180 degree. Now, if you are good with the properties, okay, let's move to question number 3. But if you need to revise them, I would suggest you to pause the video and write all the possible angles which we have discussed. Now let's come here. We have to find angle x. One is here, like, just figure is tilted. Like when I was discussing, lines were like this and it is the transversal. It's just the opposite. Now one angle is above the line, another is below the line. Okay, so they exactly are not showing any of the parallel line properties. So let's see what we can do. Why not apply linear pair here first? So if it is 33, let's say it's A. So A plus 33 is equal to 180 degree. So A will be equal to 180 minus 33, which is 147. So this angle is 147. Now you can say, because this is above line M and this one is above line N and they are on the same side, so they are forming a pair of corresponding angles. So angle X is equal to A So x is equal to 147. Now this is just one way of solving it. Another way is like you can also solve it by other ways, corresponding angles. 33 and these are corresponding angles, and x will form a linear pair. Many ways. But this is the first one of the ways we have discussed. Okay. Question number 4. Scene rents a tent at a cost of $11 per day. That means every next day he has to pay 11 more dollars plus a one-time insurance fee of $10. One-time insurance fee. Now this is a linear situation because per day is fixed. So it's a linear equation. So y is equal to mx plus b. B is the initial cost. So initial cost is $10, which is the insurance fee. And per day, $11 are increasing. So it's 11 x plus 10. Now, in our question, total cost is C, not Y. So let's replace Y with C. And per day is D, not X. So it is 11D plus 10. Okay, C is the right option. Correct? Question number 5, bundle 8, module 2. For the right triangle, A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 5, which expression represents the value of C? Okay, so the side which is opposite to right angle is always the hypotenuse, right? Here we have to apply Pythagoras because this is a right triangle and we are talking about three sides. So best property is Pythagoras triangle property. So here always you have C square, hypotenuse square is equal to sum of the square of other two sides. So its property is simple. Let's see. C square is equal to 4 square plus 5 square. Now, this is the beauty of SAT, that every time you do not have to reach to the end step, right? Sometimes the options are from the middle step. What mistake we can do here? C is to be calculated. So maybe some students will do it like all squared cancelled, and this is 4 plus 5 and A is the right answer, but it is not right. Whenever there is a square on both sides and you have to cancel it, it should be like this, right? Because it's whole and it's whole, you can cancel it. But you cannot cancel individual squares. Always remember this. This is not correct. So, what if this is given to us? Right? Okay, multiplication is also not possible. Now, even if I am trying like cancelling the squares, it is not happening, right? And also, if C is not a chance even. So that means 4 square plus 5 square is as it is, and this C square is removed by taking square root on both sides. Now we can cancel it. So C is equal to square root of 4 square plus 5 square whole square root. So D is the right answer. See, it's a trap question. You will see all the options, and if you are not thorough with the properties that how we can cancel the squares and the cubes, you may end up at a wrong answer. So go to very minute details of the properties, right? Okay. The function g is defined by gx is equal to 6x. For what value of x is gx is equal to 54? Gx is 54. For what value of x? So it's a game of words, right? You have to understand the right words and plug the values at the proper places. Now dividing by 6 on both sides, x is equal to 9. Trap of words. But I hope this is clear now. Question number 7. The function f is defined by fx is equal to 8x cubed plus 4. What is the value of f of 2? Now, this x is plugged as 2. So that means everywhere we have to plug 2 at place of x. And now 2 2s are 4 2s are 8, 8 8s are 64 plus 4, which is 68. So 68 is the right answer, correct? Question number 8, lottery question. Okay, let's see. The function f is defined by fx is equal to 1 by 10 x minus 2. What is the y-intercept of the graph? Y is equal to fx. Simply you have to put x as 0 because it's the y-intercept. You can go back to question number 1. It was the same question. At question number 1, it was the graph was given. Here equation is given. It's okay. Our purpose is to imagine or to find apply the concept that x is 0. So when x is 0, fx is equal to 0 minus 2, which is negative 2 itself, right? So x is 0 and y is negative 2. Again, if you are in stress, you see negative 2, oh, negative 2 and 0. Stop for a while, right? Check you are giving the right option. Otherwise, this lottery question will become the opposite of it. See the options very carefully. Okay. Question number 9. A producer is creating a video with a length of 70 minutes. Perfect. So the total length of the video is 70 minutes. We are just marking the keywords, right? Here 70 minutes is the total length. Understand that. 70 minutes. Okay, let's highlight it. 70 minutes. The video will consist of a segments that are 1 minute long and those are 3 minutes long. Okay. Which equation represents this situation where x represents the number of 1 minute segments and y represents the number of 3 minute segments? Let's do a little bit fun first. Suppose one chocolate is of $10 and you have to buy 5 chocolates. So total cost you have to pay is 5 times 10, where this is the number and this is the cost per chocolate, right? So here if this x represents 1, so x is the number for 1 minute videos, apply the same condition, so that is 1 times sets, and y represents the 3 minute segments, that is 3y. So total time is 70 minutes. That means for 1 minute and for 3 minutes videos, total time is 70 minutes. This question is a like game of words, how you understand it. Let's see the options. Okay, D is the right option. Correct? Now, like you have to see this carefully. Again, it's like, oh, 3x plus y is equal to 70. Maybe. Again, every time I say don't be in hurry anytime. See the options very carefully. Most of the times when I hear from the students, oh, by chance I missed, I clicked the wrong answer. That was a silly mistake. No, we cannot afford these kind of silly mistakes when questions are seriously very easy and we are just losing marks because we are stressed, because we are pressurized to see the paper. Stop and do it carefully, right? Question number 10. The function f is defined by fx is equal to 7x cube. Okay. In the xy plane, the graph y is equal to hex is the result of shifting the graph y is equal to fx down 2 units. Which equation defines the function g? Okay. Before solving this, let's understand how transformations work. Suppose function is as it is, fx is as it is, right? We are not making any changes to it, but either we are adding some value to it or we are subtracting some value to it. So here input is as it is. What is changing? Output. And what axis is for output? Y axis, which is the vertical axis. So by changing or you can say adding or subtracting some value from the function without changing the function, the graph will move up if you add and move down if you subtract. So it will be the vertical shift. Now, If you are changing the input, right? Suppose you are adding, let's not say B, let's say A, or subtracting A from it, right? So it will give the left or right shift, the horizontal shift, because x-axis is the horizontal axis. So it will move left A points if it is plus A, and it will move right A points if it is negative A. So here this is horizontal shift, right? But third is like if you multiply it, so there is no shift. What is the change? That either the graph will vertically contract or expand. This is what happens if you multiply. So if we see the overall rule, right? Like some function y is equal to a, and then f of, let's say it is c, because we have used it this way, x plus a plus b. So this b will be responsible for vertical shift, and this a will be responsible for horizontal shift, and this multiplied constant will be responsible for stretching, vertically stretch or vertically compress situation, right? So here see what's asked: down 2 units. So when down 2 units, that means function will be as it is, but how much down it is, because it's 2 units down, function as it is and -2 with it. Okay, let's see the question. So function f is defined by fx is equal to 7x cube. In the xy plane, the graph y is equal to gx is the result of, okay, I'm reading the question one more time. You are already clear with the question, 7x cube minus 2. So D is the right option, right? So you have to understand, if you know these rules, very good. But if you don't know, I would just suggest you to take paper and pen and write the rules. Plus, one more thing I would love to say, that if you make a rule book for you, like whatever rules you are learning in every question, just make a separate small notebook of it, and that will be a quick handout for you during the exam times. You do not have to revise each and everything. Just see that booklet and you are good to go, right? Okay. Question number 11. Y is equal to -3x and 4x plus y is equal to 15. The solution to the given system of equations is xy. What is the value of x? When it is about given system of equations, that means that value of x should satisfy this and this. Okay. So for that, we can use elimination method or substitution method. But here, because y is equal to -3x is given directly, so I can plug in the second equation as it is. So again, x is equal to 15. Just a little bit of thinking and we are good to go, right? Question number 12. A triangle is given to us. Hypotenuse is 171 and one of the sides is 35. Okay. In the right triangle shown, what is the value of sine A? Okay. Let's go to the concept first. If we talk about sine theta, I'm writing theta, cos theta, and tan theta. Then we know the rule SOHCAHTOA, right? Now this is theta, but when specifically one of the vertices is given, then we have to be very careful. How? Let's see with the help of a triangle. It's the right triangle where right angle is A, or let's take the same from the figure. Right angle is C and A is B, and B are other two acute angles. Then we have to be careful. If theta is at A, then BC is the opposite side, right? But if theta is at B, then CA is the opposite side. A is theta, BC is opposite, B is theta, AC is opposite. So when specific vertex is given, then we have to be very careful. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse and it's A. So that means theta here is A. So opposite is 35 and hypotenuse 171. Hypotenuse is always the same. It's the side opposite to 90 degree. So sine A is 35 over 171. That means B is the right option. Now let's do a little bit of extra. What about its sine? Okay, let's say cos B, right? Cos B. Now here B is the theta. So now this BC is adjacent, not opposite. In case of B, AC is opposite. So cos B is opposite adjacent over hypotenuse. So you have to be very careful where if the vertex of the triangle is given, then you have to see which one is opposite and which one is adjacent. This concept is really important. Remember that or write it in your rule book. What is the area in square centimeter of a rectangle with a length of 34 centimeter and a width of 25 centimeter? Okay. Area is equal to length times width is equal to 34 times 29 is equal to 986. Yes, correct, but not like very question can also be gorgeous, not that gorgeous. Now let's write complete. Area is length is 34 centimeters and width is 29 centimeter. So 34 times 29 is 986 for sure. Centimeter is also multiplied with centimeters. So it is centimeter squared. As when you multiply x with x, it is x squared. Similarly, centimeter and centimeter, these are like terms, it will become centimeter square. That is the very reason that whenever you calculate area, unit is also always in square units, right? So it is single unit, centimeter, centimeter, and that will be centimeter squared, right? Next three questions are really very interesting because they need a little bit of strategy and they will just take 1 or 2 seconds, right? Okay. If x by y is equal to 4, then what is 24x by ny, which is again equal to 4? There are two ways. Suppose you have a by b is equal to c. Let's write it twice because we are going to see it in two different ways. Either I can take any number, let's say n, and multiply it numerator and denominator both, and this c will be unaffected, right? Because this is the numerator and denominator both. So overall common factor will be cancelled and you will end up at c. Another is that you multiply both sides. So we do it two ways. Either we do in numerator and denominator both, or we do it in both sides, left hand side as well as right hand side. Now, if we see this question, right hand side is not at all affected. It's 4. So that means whatever number we are multiplying with x, y will also be multiplied with the same number. So without any second thought, n is equal to 24. Now I have not marked it as a lottery question because here a little bit of strategy and a skill is involved. So this is all about equivalent fractions, right? I hope you get the concept. Okay, now next one. A bowl contains 20 ounces of water. When the bowl is uncovered, the amount of water in a bowl decreases by 1 ounce every 4 days. It evaporates. If 9 ounces of water remains in this bowl, how many days has it been uncovered? Okay, whenever we will read this question, we will end up at okay, rate of change is -1. So that means it should be like this. But what about this 4 days? What should I do this? Now your brain is working, okay, how can I adjust these 4 days? But every time it's not necessary that you apply an equation or something. It's more about how you understand the question. Let's see how much water is like being evaporated. 11 ounces, right? From 20 to 9, 11 ounces total amount evaporated. Now, if 1 ounce take 4 days, then 11 ounces will take 44 days. No equation, right? No solving, nothing, just a little bit of logic and we are done. So this question is again a lottery question, but if you know how to apply these kind of strategies, so if you are at the like developing skill level and ready for the mock test, then yes, this is again a lottery question. And I like this question because if you see this question, what is the value of 4 minus 3x, right? You will calculate and plug it here, the value of x, and calculate the value of 4 minus 3x. But if you observe, 4 minus 3x itself is a part of, uh, left hand side as well as the right hand side. So in the beginning, we will just replace 4 minus 3x as y. So our equation will be 9y plus 2 is equal to 8y plus 18. Now if you are set ready, y is equal to 16 is the direct answer. One step. But if you want me to solve it step by step, okay, let's isolate variable on the left hand side and numbers on the right hand side. So here number is cancelled, here variable is cancelled. 8, not 8, 9 minus 8y, y is equal to 16. And 4 minus 3x is y itself. So D is the right option. No need to solve the whole equation, calculate the value of x and then plug it here. Just apply a little bit all of logic and we are done. Right? Wonderful questions. Question number 17, Bundle 8, Module 2. A certain township consists of a 5-hectare industrial park. Let's mark the key points side by side of the question, right? So, 5-hectare is industrial park. Perfect. 24-hectare is neighborhood. Okay. Total number of trees in the township is 4,529. So the whole township is of industrial park and neighborhood, right? And number of trees there is 4,529. Okay. The equation 5x plus 24y is equal to 4,529. Now, if I compare the given equation with this given data with this equation, so this is about total number of trees, right? 4,529 is total number of trees, which is here. That means we are talking about trees. And this one is land and this one is also land, 5 hectare and 24 hectare. Okay. That means X and Y is about trees. So to do this question, let's see a wonderful, interesting, tasty example first. Suppose you have to buy 5 chocolates. $5 is the cost of one chocolates, and you have to buy 10 chocolates, right? So this is cost, and this is number of chocolates you have to buy. If you multiply them, total cost is $50, right? Similarly, if you see this example, 5x, so 5 is the hectare land and x is cost, number of trees per hectare. This is cost of one chocolate. This is number of chocolates. This is industrial hectare, industrial park, and this is number of trees per hectare. So x here is number of trees per hectare and 5x is the total number of trees in the industrial park. Now let's see the options. The average number of trees per hectare in the industrial park. Yes, this seems to be correct. The average number of trees per hectare in the neighborhood. No. Neighborhood is actually 24 hectare. So that is related to Y, not related to X. So wherever we have neighborhood, just delete that part. Total number of trees in the industrial park is 5x, not X. So X is the average number of trees per hectare in the industrial park. I hope you have understood every single word in the question, right? Okay. This is a very good question. Question number 18. Which expression is equivalent to a raised to power 11 by 12? Now, if I just see this one, how we express it, because I can see square root sign in all the options. So how we express it? Suppose I have square root of let's say 5, and inside the v sign I have 3. So I can write it as 5 raised to power 1 by 3. This is how these are related. Now if I just want to write this one, so that will be inside the square root sign, there should be the denominator part, 12, 11, right? But if I see the options, yes, 12 is here, but here it is 132, not 11. Okay. Here it is 144, which seems to be the square of 12, not 12. So it is giving us somewhat of the hint. Now if I see 121, that is square of 11, but here 11 is a raised to power 11. So this is not the option. 11 cannot be here. This is not the option. Now B is the only option, you can guess, but how? It's 144, we have 12. So let's try another way, like let's make it 144. How? Multiplying by 12. But if you are multiplying the denominator by 12, you have to multiply it with numerator 2. So how will this work now? A raised to power 132 over 144. Now we get it. So whatever is in the denominator, that will be inside the v sign, and a raised to power 132. So B is the right option. Proper, very good, wonderful question. Question number 19. The dot plots represent the distribution of values in dataset A and dataset B. Okay, this question is very interesting. The data given is very interesting. And if we analyze the data in the beginning itself, some of the questions are quite obvious without picking up the pen, without applying any formula. How? If we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 5, 6, 7, 7 data total, and this is the middle one, right? And here this is the middle one. Now if you see adjacent to it, both have 2, both have 4, both have 1, right? Very symmetric. If you see on this side, both have 2, both have 4, both have 2. So this is symmetric data around the value 13. And if this is the case, right, and n is equal to odd here, which is 7, mean and median both will be same. Here in this case, it is 13. And if you apply the formula, whenever n is odd, formula for median is n plus 1 by 2th observation. 7 plus 1, 8, 8 by 2, 4, 4th observation is the median. So 13 is the median here, 13 is the median here. And because data is equally spread, mean is also the 13. So see, we have not touched any of the, formula proper method, but the question is solved. Median is same in both the cases. Now let's come to standard deviation. Standard deviation is like how much deviated the values are from the mean. Again, if I know the basic meaning of the standard deviation, I will have to just check the values which are different, at least in this data. Because see, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 4, 4. This one is same. Here it is 1 and 1 frequency. Here it is 2 and 2 frequency. So standard deviation is actually how much value is deviated, okay, from the mean. So if you say see data set A and data set B, standard deviation is not the same. A has values more closer to 13 because this frequency is 1 and 1, and B has value not that close to mean. Now, how does that affect the standard deviation? I just want your comments. This is kind of DIY. Think about that and find out that which data set will have standard deviation value, but that is for sure because the frequencies are different, standard deviations are not same. So this value, this option is not correct. So only first option is correct. Now I just want your answer why this second option, or which data set A or B will have a greater standard deviation. Okay. Now let's come to question 20. A circle has center O and points R and S lie on the circle. In triangle ORS, the measure of ROS is 88 degree. Okay, so O is the center of circle and R and S are the points lie on it. And angle ROS is 88 degrees. Perfect. And you have to find angle RSO. Now angles are always with line segments or rays, right? Arc is not there, so that means we have to just join this. That is the part of the question, and you have to find this angle. Now we have to find the perfect property which can be used here. And whenever there is a center, radius is always a safe bet because radius is always the same. So this side is equal to this side. And this make ROS as an isosceles triangle where two sides are equal, right? And so these two angles, this side and this side, these two angles are equal. If I apply the angle sum property of the triangle, there, let's say this is angle 1 and this is angle 2. In this case, angle 1 will be equal to angle 2 and let's name it x, right? Because these both are same. So angle sum property says that 88 plus x should be equal to 180 degree. Now if you are doing with SAT way, just take one step to reach here, but let's also solve step by step. So 88 plus 2x is equal to 180 degree. Subtracting 88 on both sides, 2x is equal to 92 and x is equal to 46. So measure of angle RSO is 46 or measure of angle ORS is also 46. Correct? In digital essay, the calculator is allowed throughout the exam. And when I say the word calculator, the first impression is like you can use it to do the calculations only. But let me tell you, if you know how to use the calculator effectively in your exam, you are going to solve many questions just like the system of equations, the quadratic equations, parabola questions with the help of Desmos itself without even doing a single calculation. So we have done the concepts, we have done enough concepts. From now onwards, I am going to use Desmos in the same way as you will be able to solve it in your exam. And let's see how effective that can be in reducing our calculations and whatever. So let's start from here. Question number 21. In this question, I am going to solve it for simple arithmetic calculations. The regular price of a shirt at a store is $11.70. The sale price of the shirt is 80%. Oh my god, big sale is going on. Less than the regular price. And the sale price is 30%. Okay, another situation is there. Let's break this question into two parts. That is the first part. So let's calculate the sale price first. So sale price is whatever is the price, regular price of that shirt, due to 80% discount, let's subtract 80% of this amount so that we can get the sale price of the shirt. Okay. Now here the calculator comes into picture. Let's do it. I'm going to give input here 11.70 minus, okay, let me start from minus 80%. Now because there is no percentage sign here, so it's not a good idea to find where is a percentage sign or what, just press percent. Off will come at its own. 11.70. So sale is price is 2.34 only. Wow. So sale price is $2.34. The shirt, whose actual cost is $11.70, now you are going to get it $2.34 only. Awesome. Now let's see the next part. And the sale price is 30% greater than the store's cost for the shirt. Now here is a concept. Whatever is the reference price. For example, here in the first situation, reference price is regular price because we are comparing sale price with the regular price. And in this, that is why we took 11.70. Now the sale price is 30% greater than the store's cost. So here this is the reference point. And we don't know that, so let's take it as X. So because sale price is 30% greater than this, so whatever is the cost, if you add 30% of that cost into it, that will be your sale price, and which is 2.34 we have just calculated. So x plus 30% of x is this. So 1.3x is equal to 2.34. Again, you cannot give this input into the graph, into the calculator itself. You have to reach till here. So 2.34 divided by 1.3. Okay. Press enter. So 2.34 divided by 1.3, that is 1.8. Okay, let's go back to the question. X is equal to 1.8. So that is the cost for the cost for the store. Okay, that is what the question is. What was the store's cost in dollars for the shirt? Disregard the dollar sign and enter your answer. So that means you have to enter only 1.8, not 1.8 dollars. Okay. Okay. Now let's come to next question. I have written here the game of pi. Let's see what's the meaning of this. A cube has an edge length of 68 inches. Okay. A solid sphere with a radius of 34 inches is inside the cube. Now, I have just started analyzing this question. 68, okay, 34, half of it. That means the radius is touching the cube from all the sides. The imagination is going on. Such that the sphere touches the center of each face. Oh, space of the cube. We have already judged it. To the nearest cubic inch, what is the volume of the space in the cube not taken by the sphere? This not is highlighted here. So this situation is something like this, right? There's a cube and the sphere inside is touching it from all the sides, and these are the midpoints like from every side. So how much space is left? This much. This value you have to calculate. That means if you subtract the volume of the sphere, from volume of cube, that will be the remaining volume which is required. And what is the volume of cube? That is whatever the side length, cube of it, minus volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi radius cube. Now what are the values? 68 is the side length minus 4 by 3 pi and 34 is the radius cubed. Again, I'm going to use calculator for this. Okay, let's press enter to move to the next point. Okay, 68 cubed, again press this, minus 4 divided by 3. Okay, if I press pi, it will be with 3. No, we don't want that. We need pi here in multiplication. So press this arrow. Pi, what is the radius? 34 cubed. So 149795. And if you round it off, that will be 796. So that is, okay, 149796. Okay. Now, why I have written game of pi? Maybe you are using it like 1 by 1 4 by 3 pi r cube, and pi can be 22 by 7 and pi can be 3.14. It may affect your answer, right? So if that is the case, only last two digits will be a little bit different. Otherwise, your answer would be same. So if you are getting these two digits a little bit different than with that, that's okay. That is due to pi, right? You are doing question number 23, module 8, bundle 2, y is equal to 6x plus 18. One of the equations in a system of two linear equations is given. Okay. The system has no solution. Which equation could be the second equation in the system? Now, first question first. Should I use graphing calculator in this? No. Why it is not a good idea? Because one situation is given to us and we have to draw all these four to check the right option, right? So that means we are going to do 5 equations on the graph calculator, but even then we have to learn the rule for this. A rule is going, is being applied here. Even then that rule is required. So in this question, instead of using calculator, try to solve it with rule or formula. So let's see all the formulas. If two equations are all the formulas or all the situations, a1x plus b1y is equal to c1 and a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. Now, it's not necessary that constant should be other side, but if it is on the other side, both equations should have this form. Or equations can also be of this form. If constant is on the left hand side, it should be on the left hand side for both the equations, right? So a1, a2 are the coefficients of x in equation 1 and 2. b1 and b2 are coefficients of y in equation 1 and 2, and c1 and c2 are constants. So if system of equation has no solution, then a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2, but it's not equal to c1 upon c2. So now it has no solution. Okay, what if it has a unique solution? Then a1 upon a2 is not equal to b1 upon b2. We have to simply find the ratios. Then it will have one solution, one common solution for both the equations. But if it has infinite solutions, right? You can write it in rule book. If it has infinite solutions, then all the three ratios are equal. a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2 is equal to c1 upon c2. So it's better to use this rule in this question. Now, as we said, both the equations should have the same format, but in our option, this one is y is equal to, it is in slope intercept form, but these ones are not like these, all are in the standard form. Okay, so let's make it in standard form. Subtract 6x on both sides. Then this equation will be negative 6x plus y is equal to 18. Now all the equations are in the standard form. If I see this and this equation, both equations are same. So definitely all the three ratios are going to be same. So this first situation is giving us infinite many solutions. right? But we need no solution. So a1 upon a2 should be equal to b1 upon b2 and should not be equal to c1 upon c2 as per the rule. So let's see the second option. Second option is a1 upon a2, 1, b1 upon b2, 1. So a1 upon a2 is equal to b1 upon b2. 18 upon 22, I am checking for this one. 18 upon 22, this is not equal to 1. So this equation, option B, is satisfying this rule. So that means B is the right option. This system of equation will have no solution. Memorize this rule, right? Okay. Question number 24. Now, this question is actually SAT like question. Let's first understand. Like, this is the question where the mental energy you have saved, mental energy and time you have saved from the lottery questions. This is the question where you are going to spend that energy and time. Let's see. Triangle PQR and LMN are graphed in the XY plane. Triangle PQR has vertices P and Q and R at 4, 5, 4, 7 and 6, 5. Now these three coordinates have some special property. If you notice carefully, half of the work is done. This is a smart question. So if I take triangle PQR, as I can see, P and Q both have the same x coordinate, but y coordinate is different. So if you draw them on the coordinate plane like this, right, they will form a line parallel to y-axis, right? And in second and third option, like let's say this is P and this is Q, because 4 and 5 is going to be the lower point as compared to 4 and 7. And next is 6, 5. So here 5 is same, right? Here 5 is same. 5 is same means y is same. That means it is parallel to x-axis. So when x coordinate is same, line is parallel to y-axis, and when y coordinate same, line is parallel to x-axis. So that means this angle is of 90 degree. That means we are talking about a right triangle. Point number 1. Concept 1 done. Now second concept. We are moving 4, 5 to 4, 7. So 7 minus 5, that means this distance is 2. Again, we are doing 4, 5 and 6, 5. So this y coordinate is, changing from 4 to 6. So this is again 2. So this triangle PQR is an isosceles right angle triangle. And if you apply angle sum property, then angle Q plus angle P plus angle R, these will be equal to 180 degree, and angle Q and angle R is, each angle is of 45 degree. So here angle P is equal to 90 degree, angle Q is equal to 45 degrees, and angle R is also equal to 45 degrees. Half of the mystery is solved. Now we are coming to another triangle, triangle LMN. Okay, let's draw that too. Here you also see 4 and 4 and 7 plus k, and here it is 5. So let's see what this situation is. 4 and 5 is same. This is same. Okay, let's use another color. So L is 4, 5, right? It is 4, 5. And again in M, this 4 is same. And it is 7 plus k, and k is positive. So that means M should be above L because it is 5 and it is 7 plus k. So 4 and 7, 4 and 7 plus k. So again, because x coordinate is same, it's going to be line parallel to y-axis. And then 4, 4, this 5 and this 5. Y is same in these two. So that means This is somewhere here. 6 plus k and 5. It's parallel to x-axis. Again, this angle is of 90 degree. Okay, wait, I don't know the length. Maybe let's draw this. Now we have to find the length. Is it a right triangle only, or is it right isosceles triangle? Okay. Now it is 7 plus k and it is 7. You are adding something to it, right? So if this one is 2, this is going to be k plus 2, because 7 plus k and this is 7. So that means this length is increased by k. Now if I come to this one, this is 4 and this is 6 plus k. So 2 is this length and this is more k time k plus 2 is this length. So again, this is an isosceles right angle triangle, so this is equal to this. So this angle will be equal to 45 degrees and this angle will be equal to 45 degrees. I hope you understand these two triangles. Now let's come to question. If the measure of q is t degrees and we have calculated q as 45 degrees, that means t degree is actually 45 degrees. What is the measure of angle n? Okay, this one. So q is 45, r is 45, and here also these two are 45, right? T is 45. So that means if I have to do angle N as 45 degrees, 90 minus T is satisfying this, because T is 45 and 90 minus 45 will be 45. So C is the right option. This is really a good question. Question number 25. 2x plus 3y is equal to 7 and 10x plus 15y is equal to 35. Okay, if I just multiply the first equation by 5, that means I am going to get the second equation. That means both equations are same. It has just 5 factor which is multiply on both the sides. Okay, point noted. For each real number r, which of the following point lies on the graph of each equation in the xy plane for the given system? And because we have already observed that these two equations are same, right? So that means I have to check only for first equation. I have made my work easy. And because these are the coordinates given which satisfy the equation, that means I have to plug in a x as the first part and y as the second part and check if it is satisfies the equation or not. And there are 4 options. So now I am going to be a little bit smarter. Let's see it works or not. 2x plus 3y is equal to 7. Now I'll try to do those options first where 2 is the denominator in x and 3 is the denominator in y. Why so? Let's check. I am checking for option B. Because 2 is in the denominator, right? Here this is x and y is r. 3 minus 3r, negative 3r by 2 plus 7 by 2, right? Plus 3, at place of y I have to put r. Why? Because I just guessed, okay, 2 and 2 will be cancelled. So maybe this is the right option because my right hand side is a proper number. So again here I am using a smart strategy. What if 2 is cancelled? So 2 times negative 3r by 2 is negative 3r plus 2 times 7 by 2 is 7 plus 3r, okay, cancelled, is equal to 7, and which is equal to right hand side. So B is the right option. So just by thinking for a fraction of second before, I have deleted all these calculations which I was supposed to do for to check it for part A. And my second guess was like, because it's 3y, the y coordinate should have 3 in the denominator. So I should have checked it like 2 times r plus 3 times 2r by 3 plus 7 by 3, right? So 2r, none of the term is being cancelled. So that is, that is again a new guess. Something needs to be cancelled to get 7. So that means I should check the option which has negative sign in it, right? Again, now right now you must be thinking, okay, how can I think that it's not possible, right? And, I am saying, teacher is saying just because she knows the questions and these are really easy for us. I just keep saying these strategies so that one day you will also start thinking the same way, right? So just keep practicing. It comes with practice. It's not the thing that, I can do better than you. I have more practice than you. So just practice and you will also be able to do that. In last question of Bundle 8 Module 2, question number 26. Lots and lots of square root signs are here. Oh my god. But till now we have, you must have seen that video of one log at a time. For example, if your question is really tough, so how to tackle that, instead of getting anxious or overwhelmed, how to tackle that. Or I'll give you the I button link, just go and see that story. This question will not be that tough after that. Okay, now let's start it. This and this, same, but they are on the opposite side of the equal to sign, right? So let's try with, like, move this term to left hand side. So x squared upon square root of x square minus c square. Okay, let's see the step. Now I'm just transposing it to left hand side. Minus c square over x squared minus c squared, and 39 is here itself. Okay, now it's just like simple fraction. If you have 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4, what you do? Because the denominator is same, we have to subtract it like this. Here also the denominators are same on the left hand side, right? So what should we do? Write it only once, and numerators are like x squared minus c squared. First property used. Now let's come to the second property. Suppose you have x, right? Can you write it as root of x and root of x? Yes, this is the, opposite, you can say, the property of exponents. Similarly, this x squared minus c squared can be written as square root of x squared minus c squared and square root of x squared minus c squared, and denominator is as it is. Now you must have got the guess that why I have done that, so that this can be cancelled, right? And this is equal to 39, so that will be as it is. Okay, now we are left with x squared square root of x squared minus c squared is equal to 39. Now if I have to solve for x, this square root sign should not be here. How can we remove this? By squaring both sides. Now that is the third property. Let's be here. Suppose you have square root and the square of it. So square root sign is actually x to the power 1 by 2 with power 2, right? So you will be left with x only. So instead of writing this step, why not just cancel it as a whole, right? But one point, this square root can be cancelled with the whole square, not these individual squares, right? So you are left with x squared minus c squared is equal to 39 squared. Okay, because we have to solve for x, so it has to be isolated on any of the sides. So that is 39 squared plus c squared. Now because I need x and I have square root, so let's do square root of both the sides, okay. But here we have to be very careful that we should not forget one property. Whenever we do square root, it should have plus minus sign. Why? Because negative 3 whole squared will give me 9, as well as 3 whole squared will give me 9, right? So that is why whenever we do square root, we always put plus minus sign. So x is equal to plus minus this. So that means one is with positive sign and another is with negative sign. Now let's go back to the options and check. Okay, so definitely we need, it's a negative sign, we need positive. So D option is like one of the solutions of x. This is not our solution, this is not our solution, this is not our solution. Definitely we have two solutions, right? So here it is mentioned as D as one of the solutions. So D is the right option, right? Question number 27, the last question of this module. The quadratic function f models the depth. Okay, let's stop. We have to model a quadratic function. So if I stop at this line, and what is the rule if we are modeling a quadratic equation? That is x or y is equal to a, and whatever are the roots of like x minus b and x minus c. So this is how we form or model a quadratic function where b and c are the zeros, like if you have this quadratic function. So this value is b and this value is c, right? The x-intercepts. Okay. This line decoded. In meters, below the surface of the water of a seal, t minutes after the seal entered the water during a dive. That means here input is t. Okay. The function estimates that the seal reached its maximum depth of 302.4 meters after 6 minutes. So if I graph this, right, this information is about the vertex of the parabola. That means this height is 302.4 and input is 6. So these are the coordinates of the vertex, right? Okay, perfect. So we have one coordinate. Let's see where we can use it. After it entered the water and then reached the surface of the water 12 minutes after it entered the water. So this is 0 minute and this is 12th minute, and this extreme point is always at the middle of these points if this is a symmetric condition. So that means this is at 6 minutes. So everything is going perfect and two of the zeros are 0 and 12. That means we can do y is equal to a, x minus 0 and x minus 12, because these are the zeros of the polynomial, or I can write it as ax and x minus 12. Now we have to find this a, right? Okay, for that, what if I have one value of x and y so that I can plug it here and calculate the value of a? Okay, let's do that. So y is 302.4. We have this coordinate is equal to a 6 times 6 minus 12. 302.4 is equal to a 6 times negative 6. Okay, always I ask you a question, right? Now what should I do here? Should I put negative sign with 302.4? If yes, why? If no, why? Because if I calculate, my a is coming out to be a negative value. So it's negative 36, use the calculator, divided. Okay, so it's going to be negative 84. Now, if a is negative, it has to be a downward parabola, right? But it is upward because the seal is going into the sea and this is the depth. So this is an upward parabola. So my question is, should I put 6 here, negative sign here, or not? Tell me in comments. Okay, a is negative 64. So our equation is a is equal to negative 84 x minus 12. Now we are good to go with the question. Let's see what is asked. Okay, based on the function, what was the estimated depth to the nearest meter of the seal 10 minutes after it entered the water. So it is at 6th minute, right, which is the value here. We have to calculate this particular value. Now we are guessing something. It's going to be less than 302.4. A little guess so that what answer we get, we are a little bit sure that whatever we are doing is correct. That is always like a smart option. Okay, so because I can also write y as f of x, let's write it this way, x times x minus 12. So I have to calculate f of 10. That means after 10 minutes. Time is the input here. Negative 84 times 10 and 10 minus 12, right? So negative 84 times 12 times negative 2. So that is it 84 or is it 8.4? Okay, that is 8.4. My bad. 8.4. So that will be negative 84 times negative 2, and that is 168. Correct? So after 10 minutes, the question says after 10 minutes, its depth will be 168 meters. Now you have to tell me this negative sign should be here or it should not be here, just by checking the rule that if A is positive, it's an upward parabola, otherwise it's a downward parabola. I am waiting